Hello everyone, Julie Miller Davis, productivity trainer of JMD Productivity Training here. It is Make Shift Happen Monday on a Tuesday, so we're calling it Tuesday Tip. How about that? What happens when someone else's problem becomes yours? Have you had this happen ever? So say maybe you send something to hi Amanda, you give something to your VA and they say they can't get to it until 6 days from now. Or perhaps you have an employee who has some sort of emergency or something happen and they either can't show up to work or they quit, and now you're down one. What happens when someone else's problem becomes yours? What do? It is a really sticky situation and becomes really hard because we generally have our time planned out as entrepreneurs, business owners, women in general. We have our time really booked out and it's tight. And so what do you do when somebody else's problem becomes yours? Well, there's one tip that I can give you, actually a couple I'm going to talk about today, which is number one is to think about if you've ever had this occur before, what did you do? So let's say if you had an employee quit, how did you find that employee in the first place? What was the action that you took? Because what tends to happen is we go like, oh, they quit. Oh my gosh, now everything's gone to poop and I just can't do anything now. And I just gotta do that and that's all I can do and nothing else. And that's not how it has to go. So what do you do? First of all, what did you do in the past to fill that position, if that's the case? If it's your VA, what did you do before your VA to get that thing done, whatever it was you needed them to do? Or is there someone else that can help you? It's really about asking those questions so that you can get through it and not be so up against it that you can't get through it. So asking for help and asking yourself, what did I do before, or how was I able to alleviate that situation in the first place? And then the time is the other factor. So if you can think about your calendar as a slide puzzle, if I move this piece over here, then I can move this piece in, but then this piece has to go somewhere else. So it's not forsaking all the other stuff that you have to do in order to fix this problem, fill in this problem, do whatever work needs to be done. It's about, okay, if I do this now, then what I was going to do now needs to go somewhere. So where am I going to put it? And what can I let go off my calendar in order to make space? Or how do I move stuff? What's movable and what's not? I hope that this is really helpful because sometimes someone else's stuff becomes our problem because it directly affects us in a way, in our business in such a way. And sometimes it's personal stuff too. Our husband didn't tell us that he was leaving town for the day, and now all of a sudden we've got to juggle our own stuff plus our kids. I mean, there's all kinds of things that come up, and I call it someone else's problem, but maybe it's someone else's issue, someone else's decision, someone else's something becomes our issue. And so hopefully this is helpful. If you can take yourself outside of it and kind of look at what have you done before, ask for help, or shuffle things around on your calendar. Those are just some little tips for you today. All right, here's the thing. I would love for you to please like this video, if you feel compelled, share it out. If there's someone that you know that could use this tip because you've seen something like this kind of derail them recently or not, can you tag them in it or share it on their page and say that you thought this would be something that they might appreciate? I really would love to see this kind of go out and about on Facebook. So if you can help me out, I'd appreciate it. I will see you next week for our next tip. Have a great week.